Good morning, Julio, Guzman, Demmetrius, Knowles. Another episode of TalkVisual305. We are here live with a special guest in the building. We've got JP, John Claude, called Dead in the building.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Welcome to another episode of our podcast. We're excited to have you here. We have another local leader here that's in the community that we're trying to showcase that, downtown Homestead is it's pumping. So with no further introduction, we wanted to kind of have Mr. Julio drop a small bio on you to kind of, drop that thunder. So Julio, bring that thunder in with him.
Well, not to take anything away from JP, but JP is a local celebrity. JP has a great restaurant in downtown Homestead called Yardi Spice. He also has Cozy Greens, also, which is a more healthy selection for those people that want to stick to the healthy part of their life. And he also has the OK Fish Market, which is another great addition to our local downtown. But this didn't come easy for JP. JP had to go through a lot of trials and a lot of tribulations throughout his life. And understanding his story, I think, is going to be inspirational to not only myself, but it's going to be inspirational to a lot of you because it wasn't easy. Am I right, JP?
You're so right, 100%.
So JP, tell us, where are you from?
I'm Asian. I've been here in Homestead for just about 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah, I met my great wife back in 2004.
Beautiful.
And two beautiful children, and we call Homestead home.
Oh, that's correct.
Yeah.
That is lovely. That is
So
lovely.
tell us, man, who truly is JP? And we know that you're a father. Obviously, your background story is very interesting, and we'd definitely like to know more about you. So give our audience something to to think about. We're gonna drop some tips and tricks in the air.
Well, like I said, I've been here just about 30 years. When I came here, went to FIU. I just saw your diploma there.
Yeah.
So I graduated from FIU as well with a bachelor in hospitality.
Awesome.
And at Nova with my master's in MBA actually.
Good.
With a concentration in finance. And I worked for corporate America for quite some time.
True.
And,
So how was that in the corporate world? I mean,
well, it's a lot different. I work now a lot more hours.
right. Who said it would get easier, right?
Yeah, I work a lot more hours, and but at the beginning, like Julio said, it wasn't so easy. Actually, after my first year, I wanted to quit,
Right.
and my wife said, "No, you're not."
That's right.
No, you're not, and she said, "Well, on your Sundays off, you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to do that, you're gonna have to do this." And so we made changes accordingly.
Okay.
Based on her.
So you had an action plan.
Yes.
You guys came up with a checklist of things to do to try to keep you guys engaged and motivated.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I don't regret the motivation that my wife
Pushed.
pushed to get this thing done. But it wasn't so easy.
Let's give it up for the wife, man. Without the wives, it ain't gonna happen, man. We need that support. We need that support from the wives. That person that's gonna help you see your vision through, because if we don't have that support and we're trying to navigate through business, especially opening a restaurant, I mean, it's almost impossible if you don't have that motivation, because it's a daily battle.
It's a grind.
To come up and to have that motivation to continue every single day when it doesn't always go great.
Right.
And then when you think it's gonna go great, and we've got everything set up, we've got a great menu, then you open the doors and then nobody shows up.
There's always something.
It's always something,
Always
right?
something.
In the marketing pitch and all of the other stuff that comes along with, So tell us, man.
But I tell you what, one of the reasons that keep us going daily, it's the base, our customer base. They push me as well. Beside my wife, our customers push us. They help me creating new items. They help me offering different things. I listen to the customers.
Right.
I listen to our base.
And it seemed that it worked out. It definitely worked out, because we see you on Yelp. I mean, you're rated Yelp got you at #1 for quite some time, and Homestead, and and a few other places. And I see people coming from all over the country.
TripAdvisor, yes, everywhere.
TripAdvisor as well?
Yeah,
Wow.
TripAdvisor, yeah, Yelp, Cow.
5-star, man.
Yeah.
5-star.
No, and it's great. And not only is it great for you and your family, but it's great for Homestead because in the past, there have typically only been 1 or 2 restaurants that have had that type of notoriety
Right.
when you go outside of Homestead, right? So now Yardi Spice is one of those destination locations for people that are way up north. They're going, I'm coming to Homestead and we're going to Yardi Spice.
Right. They look up best restaurants in the area, and you're just, you pop up first.
I tell you what, we've gotten many calls from people in Europe. They
Wow.
want to stop at Yardi Spice on their way to the Keys or from Miami, from somewhere to somewhere, and call and tell us about their diet needs, requirements, and things like that. Sometimes months before they come here. You
Wow.
know, they search online, they want a good place to eat.
And I must tell you,
And they
man,
reach
if you
out to
haven't had a
us.
chance to jump in and taste that food, it's amazing.
Give it up for the menu at
I
Yardi
tell you,
Spice, man.
I must say the food is amazing, man.
Well, I also want to tell you, Demmetrius and Julio, that you have been doing a great job in the community as well.
Thank you.
You are two great leaders that provide amazing services here in Homestead.
And we appreciate that, man. As we say, iron sharpens iron around. We see things that we want to kind of come, you know, when we created the podcast, we simply just wanted to give back, give tips and tricks to the up and comers out there for them to see that, everything is possible. You just got to kind of have a game plan and don't give up on it. Just keep pushing through. But, back to your restaurant. I mean, obviously, you're a trifecta there. It seems like, that plaza belongs to you now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With Cozy Green and the alternative of healthy eating there if you want just that for breakfast. If you're passing through on a Sunday, they're open. If you just want a nice quiet space, I call it. I go there and I can just sit down and it's a quiet space,
Like I said, listening to our customers, listening to our base, people who are coming, our regulars are telling us, man, there are so many breakfast places in Homestead, but they all offer the same thing.
Right.
Where can you go in Homestead to get a cappuccino?
Right. Simple as that.
Simple. Where can you go to Homestead to order espresso?
Right.
And healthier options for breakfast. Probably not so many.
Right.
Right.
And especially downtown, right?
Especially downtown. So listening to the
customers
then
help create it.
Exactly.
Man,
And in business, and you both know, we have to stay at becoming stage.
Yeah.
If you don't, and
yeah. Very long, right?
Yeah.
So what else?
In the restaurant business, 95% of restaurants fail,
Fail.
right?
Wow.
However, Yardi Spice, to me, my personal experience with me and my family, we're all island boys, right? We're all from the island. It's one of the only places that you truly feel transcended to the island, right?
The authenticity of it.
It's almost like you're going into a Disney ride,
Right.
And you walk into this place, and you all of a sudden you're
vibe.
in this new tropical paradise.
That's right.
And then, not only is the ambiance set up, but the service that you
That
get.
family feel.
The family, I mean, it's a hug.
Yes.
It's a hug. It's an embrace, and
That's
it's
it.
true
That's it.
love. Like the vibe is it's so welcoming.
Well, we've got so many locals who tell us, man, it's like once we go to Yardi Spice, it feels like we go to the island.
Yeah.
Right.
And we don't have to pay airplane
That's it.
We don't have, it's a big saving.
Yes, that's right. It's a free pass, But once you enter the greeting, and to come up to you, the warm hug, it just feels homely. And it's homely, and it's a genuine feel. So I tip my hat to you and your wife for what you guys have created there. It's really, I think it's a staple of the community. And I'm so happy that you are downtown. You're one of the reasons why, a lot of persons wanted to kind of pull to come downtown, because you're still there. You're fighting through all that has happened, that's currently happening. But we also have a vision to see downtown better. So we appreciate you for doing that, you know?
Thank you.
JP, when you started thinking about the menu, because sometimes, you know, you want to provide everything to people, but there's a science behind creating a menu.
Definitely.
And then there are specific recipes that only you and your wife know, which is what keeps drawing people back, right? Well, what was the thought process when you started to create the menu? Because I know Yardi Spice is a blend of Haitian cuisine mixed with a Jamaican cuisine, right? And for me, Jamaican food is probably the easiest thing. Like when I'm really hungry, it's either Jamaican or Chinese, right? That's what I go eat.
Keep it simple, right?
I love to eat Jamaican food. So how did you blend that?
Well, when creating the menu, there are the first questions that we ask ourselves: what are the anchor dishes that have to be
on the menu?
You know, you've got to have your grill.
Right.
Right.
You've got to have your oxtail, definitely jerk chicken, definitely stew chicken.
Don't forget the curry.
You know,
The curry goat.
you know, so these are the core menu that you have to have no matter what. Then after that, based on feedback from friends and family members, then we decided in different order items to add to the menu.
Okay.
You know, there are certain things that you can't negotiate. The anchor dishes you can't.
Right.
You know? And everything else, it's
Fall into
you know,
place.
falls in place. And when we from 2013 to maybe 18 months ago, we used to change our menu change our menu every like 10 months, 11 months.
Wow.
And whatever is not selling, we remove it from the
Menu.
menu.
Makes
because
sense.
I said we are not a storage room.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so we run specials daily, and based on feedback on the specials,
Determine if you keep it or not.
Exactly. What we're replacing from the actual menu.
Right.
And the specials also from what you tell me you'd like to see, you'd like me to do.
Well, it was
You
up
know,
to
it's
me.
not
Everything
up.
will stay on that menu because
But when I say up to 18 months ago, I haven't changed, removed anything from the menu because everything
Sells.
here, it sells.
that's a
And,
testament to your good cooking, man. Whoever, you know, you guys, when you get in there, I don't know how many hours you guys are putting into so many different menus being placed. I mean, I always think that, you know, some companies only have a few things to offer. You guys have a whole laundry list of
But
things, you know?
I tell you what, too, between my wife and I, we have about 50 years of experience.
Wow.
So it's not something that people.
It's not an overnight thing.
Yeah, exactly. And to see that many options on the menu and to execute it so well,
Right.
you know, and we still do daily specials, and we still do daily specials because people's taste buds change.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and if you come to Yardi Spice every day, you get jerk chicken or you get stew chicken, oxtails, or whatever the item menu might be. Today you might come and say, man, JP, I want to try something different. And you have to offer these options.
What I've liked that you mean that you own the fish market next door. You can get fresh fish, immediately fresh fish. You know, you almost could go and pick out that one and say, you just catch that one.
Oh, we do that, yeah.
You know, fresh fish, I want that one on my plate today. And actually go next door 20 minutes and eat back.
Since we opened in 2013, I always buy my fish from AOK Fish Market next door. And because we never serve fresh fish, frozen fish or imported fish, always get the fish from next door because I see their operations. I buy from local fishermen. We love locals.
So shop local.
Shop local.
Love it.
Yeah. So our seafood, our fish from the Keys. And,
Okay.
JP, to those young cooks out there, those young chefs that think, you know, they've got to go to the school, they've got to go to culinary school, they've got to do all these things. You learned cooking in the kitchen. Did your parents give you some of those recipes?
Yes.
He was the pasta
yes,
king, right?
yes. I remember growing up, I was the first child. My mom and my dad had 3 children, and I was the first one. My job was cooking breakfast every single day for my brother and sister. And I used to love doing hot chocolate every morning.
Yeah.
And watching my mom cooking every day. Not really every day, as much as I could, because, I go to school. But I remember my mom used to say I make the best pasta in the world.
That's it.
Probably
She was on. That's right. She was on to something then, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're in charge.
No need to. If you have the drive, you have the heart, and you love to make people feel good, happy, and just do it. Try to do it. And I have a young cook in the kitchen. And I feel like he has that passion. I think he might be the one that will be in charge of the kitchen once.
Because at some point the chef says, let me get creative with some of these ingredients and let me see how this tastes. And it's almost like you're an artist in the kitchen.
Right.
Well, people eat with their eyes. People eat with their eyes first, then you reach into the flavor. So we're a big believer in that, and that's if you're looking at our plates online or physically when you go to Yardi Spice, you the first thing you do is take pictures.
That's right.
And we beside listening to our customers, we see what our competitors doing, we see what we check out what the world is doing. What the trend of different plating, the trend of different dishes, and there's a lot going on in the back.
What I've found at coming there is that the food is always consistent. A lot of times, you can tell on a certain day it's different. To me, it's always been the consistency of the food. It's like, to a science.
Well, I'll tell you the key of that. Nobody's in the world is perfect. No one's perfect. And in corporate America, my departments always have the lowest turnover ratio because I know how to work around the weaknesses of employees.
Yeah.
So nobody in the kitchen does everything.
You chop it up.
You're good in making the rice, you make the rice. You're good in making the meat, certain type of meat, you make the meat. You're good in doing the vegetables, you do that. And we keep it like that.
Yeah.
So you're the best in rice, I'm not gonna have you to ask to cook the chicken.
Right.
I'm not gonna ask you to cook oxtails.
Wow. See, that's a tip. That's another drop of a dime right there.
That's what keeps the consistency
Yes.
going.
Okay. That makes sense. because I'm like every single time it never misses. You just never miss.
I'm the chef. But I'm not gonna cook everything.
Right.
I have my own weaknesses.
Right.
So let me ask, if your son wanted to open a restaurant, right? You'd probably say, go speak to JP,
right?
So he can help you understand some of the challenges that you have in opening a restaurant, because people don't understand. Restaurant, you need a grease trap. Yeah. There's a lot of heavy capital investment when you're going to open a restaurant.
Yes.
So in your decision to open here in Homestead, was it difficult in finding the location that was conducive to that perfect style restaurant that you wanted?
No.
It wasn't?
No. I'll tell you why. Because we weren't planning of opening a restaurant. In 2013, I took some time off from corporate America to take care of myself. I had a tumor that I had to take care of, and I was on family leaves. And as my wife was driving me on Chrome, then that specific location business was up for sale. And I captured the number, I made a call, we set up an appointment the next day, made an offer, they accepted.
Beautiful.
And back then, the grease trap, all these regulations, they weren't that
They weren't
bad.
The stringent right there.
Yeah. So within 3 months, no sleep in my garage, trying to figure out the menu, trying to figure out licenses, permits, reaching out to friends, family member, my mom,
Yeah.
to figure out recipes and things like that. Then we open.
Cool.
So now it takes a lot longer. It
And
takes a
now
lot
fast
longer.
forward to today.
Oh man,
Try it
Today
now,
is
right?
tough,
a
right?
year,
That's it. It's a
I
matter-
mean, it took me over a year to open Cozy Greens.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might remember.
Yeah, I remember.
As they say, yesterday's price is not today's price. I'll tell you right now.
No.
The trials and tribulations, but at least you have a testimony to the things you have done. And, a lot of the youngsters coming up there and whatever space they're looking to get into, everything is possible. Here it is that you took some leave and you weren't thinking about opening a restaurant, but, that opportunity presented itself. So whatever came to you to want to even open a space, it did. And you took your shot.
Yeah.
And that's all a person really want or need is for them to take their shot. you know?
Yeah, I have many friends, and my dad said, "Man, why are you doing that? You won't be making that much money, and you have a good job." I said, "Well, Dad, if it doesn't work, I can get me a job."
That's right. That's it.
I can always go get another job.
Yeah. So it's been fun since then, and I'm happy that I took that decision.
That trip, you
and,
took the plunge.
Yeah.
Well, it's overall we see that the great family life. I mean, you have your daughter that's off in school and she's doing amazing things, and your young one, I see your right hand.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I see you guys, your girl's dad. You're definitely outnumbered in the house.
Oh, yeah.
So how is do you take trips or you take time off? I mean, because the restaurant business is a lot of work.
It's a lot. Well, every summer we all take vacation together. Our employees and ourselves. We normally take like a week, 10 days, and 14 days, depending of where we're going, what we're doing.
Okay.
And sometimes whenever there's a long weekend, July 4th, Memorial, Labor Day.
Yeah, you take advantage of those moments to take some time off.
So we do that, and because yes, we have the business life, we also have family life that we
Well
have to
said.
take care of.
And that's a very heavy battle between the balance, that great balance of trying to communicate the two, to keep them two balanced is always a situation, but
Yes, a
you
struggle.
have to be strong-minded
Yeah.
and be willing to want to push through to that. So tell us, man, what can you drop on the audience today that, can be a small tips and tricks for the next person or next person's trying to come in to the Homestead downtown area? Well, I mean, what gem would you like them to remember about you? What have you said in the past today, or maybe for the future that you think Homestead can learn from?
Well, whatever dream, whatever the project that they have for downtown of Homestead, I would say just do it, because Homestead is at a positive path to becoming another Doral, to becoming another Winwood. Do it now. Just like I said earlier, if I did not do it back in 2013, it would have costed me a lot more to do it now.
Yep.
So do it now. Now is the right time to do what you'd love to do.
Well said.
Don't wait until tomorrow. And Homestead is a beautiful city. And any help you might need regarding real estate, Julio's here.
Amen to that.
JP, for those people listening, is there a recipe book for some of the things that you guys do at Yardi Spice? Are those secrets out there anywhere?
Probably not. They're not.
They're
but,
hidden away.
Many people are asking us to do a recipe book.
Yeah.
And we're thinking about strongly. And, we've got a lot of things in queue. And we've got a hot sauce coming up. We're working into expiration date and things like that with lab. And so the book might be in
the works soon. All right.
We'll be looking out for that
I
book.
know, man.
We'll be looking out for
So
that
how
book.
can one find your spot? I mean, obviously they can just Google you. I mean, obviously your phone number's out there. how can they locate you? Would you tell our audience? I mean, how can they find you if they're looking for you?
Well, if you have as Google or Yelp, the best restaurant in Homestead, it's very easy.
Should be top of the list.
It's very easy to do. You know, go on Yelp, go on TripAdvisor, and look for the best restaurant in Homestead. And I mean, that's what they say. You know, Yardi Spice is on top of the list.
Check out Yardi Spice. You will not be disappointed. I'm telling you, you'll be transcended to the island. You're going to be greeted with warmth, with love. You're going to enjoy. Your family's going to enjoy, and the food is amazing. JP, we commend you for everything you've done, for what you represent, for what you mean to the city of Homestead. We're proud. I'm proud to talk about Yardi Spice when I'm in other places.
That's right.
You know, I'm like, what do you guys got at Homestead? Yardi Spice.
That's right.
Well,
Yardi Spice.
I'll tell you a last story. There's a couple that stop at Yardi Spice every mid-December from Tampa. And last year, mid-December, they stopped by and said, hey, JP, I have something to tell you. We were in Arizona for summer last year, or this year. We're talking about last year. We were at a local bar and chatting with another couple. They asked us, where are you from? I said Tampa, Florida. Well, you're from Tampa, you've got to go to Yardi Spice, a little restaurant on your way to the Keys. Well, that couple said, well, we stop there every year.
Who knew?
We stop there every year.
Every year.
He's like, oh, I've been there.
I've done that. That's it.
Been there. Check it on my bucket list.
Well,
That's amazing,
That's
man.
a testimony. That's a great testimony to your great services. You know, the warmth. You guys are doing it effortlessly because you're doing it with love. You love feeding the country actually, because people are coming from everywhere, and once they sample your food, they'll be back. When my friends come into town from anywhere in the country or the world, it's a must. It's almost like biblical. I tell them, listen, dude, hop in your car, let's go get something to eat. In fact, they insist on me coming there, and I'm like, we were up in Miami.
Yeah.
We drove back to Homestead to go to Yardi Spice because they wanted fish. They wanted brown stew fish and some other tastings. But hey, I want to say thank you, my brother, for showing up. Thank you for coming through. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
We welcome you. Anything that you need from us in our podcast, we try to drop tips and tricks in the local community's ear. TalkVisual305, guys. We have our billboard now that's up and running, and we now have our our podcast up and running, and we're going. So guys, join, subscribe, like. Julio, take us out.
Like and subscribe. Another episode of Talk Visual, where we bring local entrepreneurs and we talk about failure, success, and everything in between. So stay tuned to the next episode. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.